Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk to you today about our Evolution Weight Management Program. I'm going to talk about what it entails, what you can expect, testimonials, challenges. So this is our Evolution Weight Management Program. So we run this periodically. We will be doing another group soon. We're hoping to be running groups every 3 to 4 months. And so this is from a company called DesBio, which is one of our favorite supplement companies, and they specialize in homeopathics. I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. But first, I want to start what this program is based on, and that's the work of Albert Simeons, who is an endocrinologist who was studying pregnant women who were very malnourished, yet still giving birth to healthy babies. So he was trying to figure out why that was. So when a woman is pregnant, she makes a hormone called HCG, or human chorionic gonadotrophin hormone. It's kind of a mouthful. So, and that's basically the hormone that they're testing for when they see if you're pregnant. So what that hormone does is allows you to utilize your abnormal fat cells for fuel. So your abnormal fat cells, we have all different kinds of fat. Our abnormal fat cells are the ones we want to get rid of, right? That's in our adipose tissue. So our bellies, our underarms, our thighs, our inner thighs, our butts. So those are all our abnormal fat cells. So if we are able to basically like mobilize and utilize those fat cells for fuel, essentially your fat is feeding you. So these pregnant mamas who were malnourished, their fat cells were able to feed their baby so that they were born healthy. Now, we don't use any hormones in this program, but like I said, DesBio specializes in homeopathics. So we use a product called HA2CG, which is a homeopathic version of this HCG hormone. So we don't prescribe hormones. That's not what we're doing. But what happens when you do this program is that this product, this HA2CG, helps you, even though you're not pregnant, burn your abnormal fat cells and use it for fuel. So because of that, it is an extremely low calorie and fat restricted diet, which is something I gave up many, many years ago. The low fat days of, a long time ago are long gone for me. I eat lots of healthy fats in my diet. I think it's a crucial part of, anyone's diet. And I also don't believe in limiting calories. So if any client came to me and said, I want to do 1,000 calories and very low fat diet, without this, which I'll explain why this works in a minute, then I would say absolutely not. You're going to tank your hormones, your metabolism, you're starving yourself. No. However, that is exactly what you're doing on this diet. So there's two different options. There's a 500-calorie option and there's a 1,000-calorie option. So a general rule of thumb is those of you who have 15 or more pounds to lose and are okay not being very active for 3 weeks, you can do the 500-calorie diet. If you have 15 or less pounds to lose and you still want to stay fairly active, you can do the 1,000-calorie diet. So when I first learned this, I was like, no way, 1,000 calories, low fat, absolutely not. But that was because I didn't read and understand the science behind it. So I first learned about this last spring. I finally tried it myself in September. I've been able to maintain a healthy weight for quite some time. When I was in high school and college, definitely beefed up a little bit, and had to struggle with my weight. Back in high school when all my friends could eat whatever they wanted, still be these tiny little things, that just wasn't me. So in some ways, I was really grateful that I had to start struggling that young, because I learned at a young age how to maintain my healthy weight. So anyway, for years, like 20 something years, I've just been able to be like within a few pound range of my, healthy weight. And the last 2.5 years, that number just kept getting a little higher and a little higher and a little higher until it was a little bit higher than I was comfortable with. So last September, I decided to try the 1,000-calorie because I had less than 15 pounds I wanted to lose, and I'm very active. So I wanted to continue to exercise. So what happens is you want to do a calorie and fat restricted diet So you need to limit all fats. So, and while you're taking this supplement, these HA2CG drops, which is a homeopathic version of the HCG, and what this is doing, it doesn't work. This low calorie, low fat diet does not work without this. You need these drops. So the cool thing about it is, even though I was only eating 1,000 calories a day, I wasn't hungry because, again, my fat is literally feeding me. So this was allowing my abnormal fat cells, my belly, that's my real problem area, is on my belly, to, mobilize those fat cells and essentially get rid of them. So I lost 13 pounds in 24 days. And I've been able to maintain that weight loss. So that's the key too, is that it's not just a one and done, do this for 3 weeks and then you're done. It's important that you understand how to maintain your new weight loss. So they have these HA2CG drops. Now, another really interesting thing about this is that you can't consume any fat. You also cannot put any fat on your body. So lotions, shampoos, this can be a little bit of a challenge. I just didn't really wear makeup that whole time. I didn't put any lotion on my face. You can use like aloe vera gel if you want to. So I just kind of went full blown dirty hippie. I didn't even wash my hair. I washed my hair, but I used baking soda to do it. I used baking soda, and then every few days I would rinse it with apple cider vinegar. So I was very strict on lotions because any fat coming into the body, even if it's absorbed via our skin, is confusing these drops. So we need to have no fat. Now, this is not forever. And this was really important too, because when I heard low fat, I was like, no way, I'm never giving up fat. But you're not. You're giving it up for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you're going to incorporate it back into your diet in very healthy quantities. So that calorie restriction, low fat, is really just like a short-term solution. And then you learn how to maintain. So when we run our groups, we have weekly Zoom calls. We have a Facebook group. So there's lots of support. We've run 2 groups now. They've both been very successful. We've got a lot of great success stories. And people have really, really loved the camaraderie and the support via our Zoom calls and the Facebook groups. So we highly suggest joining our group if this is something that you're interested in, because there's going to be lots of questions. I had lots of questions as I made my way through it. So basically what you're eating in a day is really easy. And I always say you can do anything for 3 weeks, right? So you can do the low calorie portion anywhere from 23 to 40 days. So if you have a lot of weight to lose and you get past the 23-day mark and you're still losing weight, then you can keep going up until 40 days. So at the 40-day mark, or even at the 23-day mark, if you're done and you need to take a break, you want to stop, go into maintenance. So we have had some repeat customers. So people who lost, 10 to 15 pounds the first round, took a break, and then came back and repeated the program again. So that doesn't mean it didn't work. It means they just had more weight to lose. So then they came back for our second round and did another round. And then on average lost another 10 to 15 pounds during that second round. You can do it as many times as you want. You just have to wait. You have to give your body a break in between. And those are things that we can talk about. So you need to eat very low fat sources of protein. So, lean turkey, chicken breast, no dark meat chicken, occasionally maybe a low fat cut of steak, or not low fat, but, a lean cut of steak, like a sirloin or something, egg whites. And then you're going to have veggies. There's specific veggies on the list. So it's very low carb. You're not going to have any sweet potatoes or carrots or anything like that. And then you can have a couple of fruit servings per day as well. So you do have to measure your food, and, you're going to get, for example, if you're doing the 500 calorie, you're going to be doing 3 ounces of protein twice a day. And if you're doing 1,000 calorie, diet, which is what I did, you're doing 6 ounces of protein twice a day, then veggies, and then fruit. So it's actually, it's kind of restrictive and you can't eat a lot. But I just found that easy. Like I knew exactly what I was eating every day. I meal prepped on Sundays. I would just like do a lot of ground turkey cooked in bone broth. You can't use any fats or butters or anything to cook it. Or I would bake chicken breast in bone broth. And then that's pretty much just, those were my meals for 3 weeks. And yeah, I've been able to maintain. So the interesting thing is that once you stop the HA2CG drops and finish the low calorie portion. So you basically have to stop the drops, but while the drops get out of your system, you still need to go a couple more days of low fat, low calorie, because you don't want to add any fat in while these drops are still in your system. And then you can go into maintenance. So maintenance is basically switching to like you're doing a complete 180 and honestly even more of like a ketogenic style diet. So what happens is this is helping you reset your hormones, your hypothalamus. So you want to retrain your body to be able to burn fat for fuel after you finish this low calorie portion. So the really exciting part is when you're done with the low calorie portion, you go into maintenance and then you need to eat lots and lots of fat. So you want 55% of your calories to be coming from fat. This is all stuff we cover in depth in our group. We give you lots of support, answer all of your questions. But when you switch to maintenance, you really get to enjoy all the good fats again. So, and then after that, you want to slowly start incorporating foods. But remember, this is not a quick fix. This isn't like, okay, you're going to lose these, 13 pounds in 3 weeks, and then you're just going to go back to your old habits. If that were the case, I would have gained all my weight back. So the reason I've been able to maintain is because I've been following all of the steps past it. But now I really eat like I normally do, right? I eat lots of good fats, lots of good veggies. I tend to avoid a lot of grains anyway. I don't really eat gluten. So my carbs, I love getting my carbs from things like fruit, and I don't know why that keeps happening. Things like fruit and sweet potatoes, squash, things like that. Those are where I like to get my sources of carbs from. Okay, so a couple other things, and then we will wrap this up. A few other things that come in the kit are, this is crave control. So this can help you with cravings in the beginning. Although I do have to say, even though you're eating a very low calorie diet, you're not hungry. And that's the beauty of those HA2CG drops. And then there's another homeopathic called appetite control, again, for that same purpose, especially in the beginning. And then this is the real beauty, is this comprehensive detox kit. So you want to start this about a week before you start the low calorie portion. Now, one thing to think about with adipose tissue or our fat cells or abnormal fat cells, they harbor toxins. So it doesn't sound like they're doing us a favor, but they actually are, because they're trying to stop toxins like heavy metals, glyphosate, from getting to our internal organs. So our fat cells actually hold on to them. So this detox kit is crucial to this program because it's a full body comprehensive detox that's allowing your body to let go of those toxins as you are basically melting those fat cells away. So there's Cerebromax, which is brain support, Spinal Max. This is great for people who have a hard time with holding on to a chiropractic adjustment. There's matrix support, which is basically cellular health. So these are helping you detox all of these. Then we've got detox 1, 2, and 3. Detox 1 really goes after our liver and gallbladder. Detox 2, our kidneys. And then detox 3, our lymph. All of these are crucial in letting go of the toxins that adipose tissue is holding. So you want to start this before you do any modifications to your diet, about a week before you start the low calorie. And there's 6 bottles in here, and you want to take all of these drops until they're gone. So it will last you about 6 to 7 weeks, and non-negotiable, all of these bottles until they're gone. So you start this in a week, start this, and then in a week, you start the HA2CG drops, and you get to do a little bit of fat loading while you start this, to kind of give your body some excess fat to work with once you start the low calorie piece. And then you start your calorie restriction. So you can do that for 23 to 40 days. When you're finished with that, you go to maintenance, which is all the fat, and it's so good. First thing I had was coffee. I put butter in it, put MCT oil, I put heavy cream. It was like the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. And then, like I said, you get all the support. So it all feels like a lot, but it's not. Like once you get into it, it's super easy. And it's very doable. And we've had probably about 30 clients go through this, maybe even more like 40 clients go through this with amazing success. Jill and myself have also both done it. We never, ever ask clients to do anything that we haven't done ourselves. I had great success. And yeah, I really think that if you guys are struggling to lose weight, it keeps creeping up, you haven't been able to get it down like you used to, and you're kind of at your wit's end, this is an amazing program. So reach out to us. We'll be starting new groups periodically every, I'd say 3 to 4 months, and we would love to have you in our next group. Okay.